Good morning, 7 o'clock. The local authorities are cutting the grass. I don't know how this happens. Almost everywhere where I've been, this was happening. Almost everywhere. Around Italy, now around France. Didn't happen around Switzerland because I mostly spent time high altitude where nobody does anything because it's just nature. I'm here in Annecy. Last time I've been 2 years ago. I didn't do anything for 2 years. Didn't climb Via Ferrata, didn't travel with a DusterHouse. Yes, and now I'm doing it summertime. That time was winter time in February, late February. Then from here I kept going towards Spain, circled around the east coast of Spain, then crossed into Portugal and so forth, and then returned through France, the lower part of it, Italy, Austria, and so forth, back to Romania, something like that. I don't remember exactly. When I've been here last time, I stopped here in this park. It was, I found it by chance. It was good, quiet, and that one was broken. Now I see they've changed it. They made changes also the parking. They added asphalt there. They fixed the road practically, and then they fixed this. They made it a tad better. They made changes. In 2 years they made changes. What do I want to speak today about? About this, about the DusterHouse, the local regulations. We have there a sign saying horses are not allowed to cross the bridge. They were crossing, that time when I was here, I remember them crossing that bridge there. It was happening. I don't remember here how it was, but this is new. No camping. Yes, no camping. Now, what camping means, better not to debate that, because I will give them ideas, and this will no longer be possible. And I hunch if this becomes frequent, then yes, we will add a sign, no tents on top of the cars as well. One issue here is also the people doing this, because their tendency is to settle. And when they do, they swipe away a lot of ground space, a lot. Every time I'm seeing campers, they are loud, they are nasty, they are dirty, and they take a lot of real estate around them. I'm trying not to judge, because I'm, at the end of the day, one of them. But they do that. Oh, every time I had bad nights, it wasn't because of police, wasn't because of people, wasn't because of local employees of local administrations cutting the grass. It was the people with campers. I don't want to generalize and conclude that all are the same, but I didn't. Once or twice I've seen something different. Otherwise, every time they were a disaster. So I understand from one perspective from where this comes. Then the other reason this happens is that there, exactly there. I'm 100 meters from a camping. Here, because 2 years ago I didn't save on the map this parking. I made difficulty finding it, but eventually I got a hold of it. Searching on Google Maps to see where it is, Google Terrain, because you search for the space, no, the empty space. Usually satellite pictures or the drone pictures, they have cars, so you figure out where the parking is. And searching for this, I've seen this camping, and then there is another one. There are two campings. In here we have a lake. I don't know if it is the lake of Annecy or what's the name of lake. Sorry about that. It's a big lake with settlements all around the lake. People going to the beach. A communal beach here with huge parking. I don't think you have to pay for that park, which is It is impressive. I didn't see any machines to pay. Maybe I'm wrong. It was white lines. In Italy, white lines means free to park. Then blue, you have to pay. Yellow is for residents. I've only seen white lines, didn't see any machine to pay. Maybe it's free. And if it is free, it is impressive. They have a communal beach and then small beaches all along the lake. So it explains why the local authorities put this type of signs here and say no camping, no campers, no motorhomes and so forth. This explains it's administrative regulation. By regulation, I mean regulating the situation. When I came in March, of course, there was nothing. It was empty because February, March, because nobody does this. This, everything happens summertime because this is how our civilizations and societies are, at least around Europe, are settled. Summertime, everyone goes on holiday because it is the sun, the beaches, we have so many places, so many beaches. Then wintertime, they go skiing, and the same happens there. If you go now, with the difference that on the mountainside, both summertime and wintertime, it's very hard to park because it is so many tourists. I was here in France yesterday. Yves Paulette Villard is the name of a Via Ferrata. Oh, it was so busy there around, but at least two, if not more, free parkings. True that not in the city. Even Chamonix, you have next to Chamonix free parking next 10 kilometers, to be clear, but it existed. In Switzerland, this doesn't happen. You have 100 kilometers away free parking. And yes, what I'm trying to say with this, I'm now 46 days on the road. The system works except when it crashes totally. The reason it crashes, well, Switzerland is built specifically to squeeze as much, specifically. Spain, for example, is pro-life, pro-social, or I don't know how to say it. Spain is a different animal from what I've seen. Maybe I'm wrong. I didn't travel during summertime. Ideally will be now to cross into Spain and see how is there during summer as well, to make a comparison, because when I did it with the DusterHouse was winter time, when nobody travels in these places. They go to the mountain, which I've been, and I was able to hijack that as well. It wasn't easy because it was happening as now, summertime. France, I see they have some spots where at least you can park, and well, in here, because it's human behavior, I also picked the place. It's at the end of the city. Annecy is there, quite far away. So where I am now is not Annecy. I'm confident I will not be able to find in Annecy anything. What I'm trying to say is the system works, but then it also crashes and fails hard sometimes. And I have to figure out a solution for that. Topic for a different video, a year or 2 years from now, maybe. If I get to do it back or more, we don't know. I've traveled once wintertime and now summertime. I don't know what will happen going forward. I built this 3 years ago and I didn't get to test it because when winter came, I did it, and then I didn't travel for 2 years. Before the DusterHouse, this is DusterHouse, this one here, the Dacia Duster and the Maggiolina Airlander Plus from Autohome. Before the DusterHouse, I was sleeping into the car, as anyone else does. It is how you start, sleeping into the car. Someone was saying, what if I continue sleeping into the car? Well, it is so heavy, I can see how heavy it is. It is what it is. What if I keep sleeping into a car to stay invisible and not have any issues, and put box on top for things? Not a bad idea. The only thing is, it is easy to break into a box, and if you put things of value, then that one is that. Or either way, they will break in no matter what you have in. The other issue is the space. You get more comfort with a tent compared to... my face is like this because I just woke up to close the tent, and I thought, still good opportunity to speak about the signs and how I'm doing it. I have a sign there. I lifted the tent at 10:30, around that. I waited for all the cars to get out of the park. I knew they will do it because they go to the beach. And then I placed it here to be in as much shadow possible. I checked to see from where the sun comes up, which is from there, and it will rotate like this. So the whole morning I will have shadow. I will not stay long. I will start driving. I'm going towards Italy now. I would have loved to go towards Spain, but we are meeting back again a viewer to the channel. We'll climb together some Via Ferrata. Me on my way there, I will climb more Via Ferrata. Oh, yes, this is why I'm going back to Italy and not to Spain. But maybe after that I will rush to get to Spain as well to see how it is, because the pulse of France I took. I'm avoiding beaches, of course. I expect there to be extremely busy. A viewer to the channel was complaining to me, saying, he texted me on WhatsApp saying, look, we've been to Italy, impossible to find a place to park. Well, at 11 o'clock in the morning, it's impossible for the weekends, for sure. And then in the hot spots of Italy, again, impossible. You have to know where to go on the beach. First of all, you have to know where to go, and then you have to be willing to walk a mile if you really want good parking, and then also free parking. They exist, but you have to put the effort. And this is what I'm trying to say with the DusterHouse. It is possible then to do it. I'm confident if more will do it like me, and if more will break the main rule of overlanding like this, which is lift tent after dark, and ideally at 10 p.m. when everyone is asleep, and shut it down at 7 o'clock, the latest. It is already late at 7. At 6 you should do it, because between 10 p.m. 6 a.m. nobody will bother to. Of course, in the majority of the cases you have patrols, police and so forth that circle around during the night in the cities, close to the cities, city centers and so forth, busy areas, active areas, places where you have life going on until after midnight. Of course, there you have police, but like here at 10, a couple of people here and there. At 10:30, everything dead. I fell asleep at 11:30. I have 7 hours? 7 hours of sleep. Oh, it is okay. I would have loved more, but yeah, I have to follow the rule. If I follow the rule, good for me, good for the idea of overlanding like this. Yes, these are the differences here in Annecy. Wintertime, absolutely no problem. Still, you have people in the morning, because like that car there just arrived with a dog to go on the beach. So even wintertime, you have the same thing. That's okay. I wanted to speak about the sign more. I don't know what I wanted to tell you exactly. It is me not following the sign. This is how I'm hijacking it, because I have to exist on this planet as well. When I built this DusterHouse, is because I could not afford anything else. Yes, it costs money, but any car costs money, right? Any one of us will spend money to buy a car because you need it or you want it. For my case, I needed it to do this. Otherwise, I will never be able to travel like this. Everything is expensive. Yesterday, after I climbed Via Ferrata, a family from Netherlands, she says at a point we start speaking, and then at a point she's asking what I'm doing. I'm saying what I'm doing, and in their rush to get out of there with a van, they say we have a tent wherever they want. They had it, and then she points, we are on holiday. We cannot afford this. We only have 2 weeks, so we have to spend as much to be able to do it in this limited time frame. Which, yes, it makes sense. Probably I would have done the same if I would have been in the same situation, to have a continuity, the career, the money, the access and so forth. For my case, Either way, my philosophy on life is work hard, save, and try to stay debt free, which I am. But to stay debt free costs a lot of money. It's not that easy to stay debt free. Hence, I could only afford this. And I thought, how can I get access to that? Because I want it, and I still want, and I am curious. I was even here with a beach, €2.80 to get access. Last night when I arrived, just to see how it is, it was free because nobody was there at 7 o'clock. Who cares, right? They only care when they can cash the money, not when not. This gave me access, the DusterHouse. It cost money to build, but it was my way of getting access to this life, to see how they do it, to learn, to do it as well. Yeah. This is how I thought about it. This is how I ended up doing it, and it is why I keep hijacking it. Because, well, if with a DusterHouse I go there, it defeats the purpose. I still have to spend money. The idea was, with a minimum possible, I will build something that allows me to do this with a minimum to spend possible. They buy the campers, they have the whole house home with them, all the comfort and so forth, and they still lower the costs compared to going to hotels and so forth if they are the whole family or a couple or by themselves for months. Even with a DusterHouse, imagine I paid zero electricity, zero air conditioning going up the mountain. I always have 12 degrees up the mountain, no need for air conditioning. Then I have lakes, seaside, mountain peaks. I have everything for free practically. And then again, no electricity, no air conditioning, no nothing. What you usually pay when you're at home, right? Yeah, it is quite cheap, but it's not good for the systems. The way societies ended up built is everyone, it's like a big pyramidal, how do you say, scheme, one on top of other, where they say, oh, we have Bitcoin, so buy Bitcoin, and everyone buys Bitcoin, and some get rich and some lose money eventually, and it keeps going, and until the game goes, some make money, some spend money, and when it will crash, many will lose money, correct? Yes, we'll always have rich and poor, winners and losers. And I understand this is how the system got built. You have to go on holiday, you have to pay, because this is how they make money here around and so forth with tourism. I'm hijacking. This will not be possible for long. The more will happen if we follow the rules, we'll stay invisible, we'll create a specific class. And by following the rules of overlanding like this type of overlanding, I think we can do it for a very, very long time. Yes, access to freedom, not being taxed for it, and enjoying it. It takes a toll, you look at my face, but you get the idea. So ideally, whomever wants to do this will be very smart, so that we can stay as invisible for as long possible. I have a moment pictures will show on panels like that one there with a DusterHouse. We lost we lost it. We lost everything. So we should be smart about it. Let's make a set of rules. I'll come with a dedicated video that will explain everything. Let's make Let's make a set of rules and follow them. Maybe it will give us as long possible, 10, 15, 20 years from now, we'll be able to keep doing it, getting access to everything practically for free. Well, it costs money, but I'm not spending that much. Only food, petrol, and from time to time, some other things. Let's follow the rules, our rules, to stay incognito.